What's going on, my good people? It's your boy, Cornelius Jones. We're back again doing another one today. And I'm going to cover a great question. It was one of the greatest questions I saw on my channel this week. And I feel it's a good question to answer for the general public. And so the question was, if XRP is going to have utility globally, then why do we need U.S. legislation for XRP to move all over the world, right? Don't we have legislation in other countries like the UK and China, Japan, BRICS nations? All these other nations have finished their legislation. So what America does? Why would that stop XRP? And so I feel that is a great question, and I want to cover it by showing you the percentage of GDP. Let's compare United States GDP with the rest of the world. So as you can see here, just look at the top 10, top 15. When it comes to GDP, right? The total that America has compared to China alone, 30 trillion to 19 trillion, right? So when you look at America's GDP compared with the rest of the world, there is not going to be a place where the entire world is on the new rails and the United States is not. That would be a large gap in our system and things would not be fluid. We need the country with the largest GDP in commerce on the globe to be on the new rails in order for everything to work in a efficient manner. And so because the United States is the largest country by far, they are the most important when it comes to legislation getting done and how they are going to decide to move with these new digital assets. So let's review the 6 world perfect storm global events I've been talking about for a couple of years now. The first one, AMM pools, right? That happened, went live in 2024. The next one, the change in power in the SEC, another thing that happened in 2024. The third one, the heavily anticipated end of the lawsuit. That happened this year. And now the fourth one just got completed, the ETFs. BlackRock is not in there just yet. I've always said the ETFs won't be official until BlackRock is in. But it looked like BlackRock is going to decide to just, be out until maybe sometime later. But we have enough official ETFs out now for that to be considered a world event that can be checked off the list. So ETFs number 4. Now we go to number 5 and 6. Number 5 is the event that's going to take us into utility season. We don't need number 6. Number 6 is going to be icing on top of the cake. But what will officially put us into utility season, giving XRP the ability to be used, therefore being, handling volumes that we're considering is going to cause us to be wealthy. That's going to happen when legislation is written. When legislation is written that gives the banks and the institutions clarity on what is a commodity versus what is a security and how they are to engage with crypto. I don't understand why people can't understand that event is important in order for XRP to reach these high prices. I don't understand why people would expect anything less than that. Why would you expect XRP to be at a high price when the legislation has not been written that's going to give the banks the ability to use XRP in the ways that we've been reading in articles about, that we've been reading about partnerships about? All these things we've been reading about are going to affect XRP in a positive way as soon as legislation is written. When legislation is written, now we can do this now. We can accumulate XRP according to the rules and use it. When will legislation happen? Won't be this year. I can tell you that. Won't be this year. Looks like we have sometime first quarter, between the first and second quarter of next year for legislation. I expect legislation to happen in the first half of 2026. In the first half of 2026. And then when that happens, boom, now XRP can breathe. Let's give it a year after that to see what happens and how high the price goes. The sixth one, I always said, a Ripple IPO. That's going to be bullish for XRP as well, but it's not what we need for utility season. I've added to the sixth one, Ripple becoming a bank. That is going to be huge when the OCC officially approves Ripple's license to have a bank trust license, and add to that their Fed Master account application. When they get those two together, man, that's going to be incredible. But the fifth one is all we need for utility season. The day Trump signs that legislation, is XRP going to moon the very next day? No. Over the next months and quarters, though, we're going to see what happens after that. And my bet is XRP is going to be heavily utilized by institutions that is going to bring demand on the token that speculative retail trading can never ever compare to. So ladies and gentlemen, I am thankful for this low $2 XRP price. Every time it hits that threshold, that $2 threshold, it pops right back up. So it seems that we have a consistent, strong, steady support there at $2. And we're still around that area. So we have a wonderful, wonderful buying opportunity here. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight is Tuesday night. You have a great opportunity tonight. We took some time off, but we are back now. We have a wonderful Zoom meeting that you can come to find out information about smart contracts that will pay you sums of money in the 4 and 5 digits because of DeFi staking protocols that are all funded by banks issuing loans to the protocol. This is an incredible opportunity, and these smart contracts pay out $22,000, $35,000, and $471,000 at the end of maturity. Lots of details that you need to understand in the Zoom meeting. So that will be tonight at 7 p.m. The link is in the description of the video for those who would like to attend. This is your boy Cornelius Jones, 10 Minute Investing, and I'll holler at you guys on the next video. Y'all have a blessed one and take care.